All right, we've got a very special Lancaster Connects edition this week. We have the famous,
oh my God,
the one, the only,
the one and the only Drew Bleil.
Hello, hello.
If friends and family happen to be watching, they're like, "That's not Drew, that's Andrew." Well, when
Also Andy. Also, I'm called many, many things outside these four walls.
yeah, you are, but within these four walls, when Drew began with us, there was already another Andrew.
can't have two.
So we couldn't have two, and that was 10 years ago, and we'll touch on that. But you're cemented here in Gardner's walls as Drew Bleil forever and ever.
Well, and it's funny because at around the age of 40, 5 years ago, I started noticing I was introducing myself in public as Drew and making restaurant reservations as Drew. So midlife crisis for me, I guess, turned into a name change.
That's quite the influence, Gardner.
That is. Well, that's the kind of influential business we are here in Lancaster. And every Monday at 2:00, we're here doing Lancaster Connects, a community podcast show all about highlighting the best that's going on here in Lancaster County. We are highlighting the very best of what Lancaster does, providing Ben doesn't go random squirrel brain and close us out of the show.
There was a message and I clicked and then I guess I clicked the wrong button. Sorry.
It's not my fault.
We're here. It is your fault because we've never had that happen. If you know,
That's why I prefaced that.
yeah, right. If you know Drew,
I saw it
his
coming.
technical skills aren't top notch, and just his presence in the room has
Good at a few things.
brought it down.
Tech is not one of them.
All right, back on track. Lancaster Connects every Monday at 2:00, and we are here to shine light on all the good that's going on in Lancaster. And we had a show opening today, and we thought, you know what? Let's bring Drew in, and we're going to be talking about his expertise that he brings. You're going to read about him a lot in our reviews. When you pre-shop here with Gardner's Mattress and More, you'll see his name in those reviews. And so we're very excited to spend some time with him, getting to know him just a little bit more in this format here on the show. Before we begin, though, I'm going to bring you our Gardner's Mattress and More mattress buying tip. We film Lancaster Connects every Monday from Gardner's Mattress and More. And I thought I would share with you, this one is all about understanding the various mattress technology. Mattresses aren't like what you grew up on. They're not just a choice of firm or soft anymore. So those words are somewhat antiquated. And the reality is there is all kinds of new technology coming out, which is true, although you might kind of do an eye roll thing. Oh, yeah, right. Like mattress technology. Yeah, cell phones are technology. Cars are technology. Home automation is technology. But your mattress can actually be automated into your home and into your life with all kinds of Alexa prompts and things like that. It can go that far. But what I want to talk with you about today is what's in the bed. So it's good to understand how your body responds and reacts to all this new technology. Does your body like cool gel memory foam? Does it like natural latex? Does it like a coil support or a foam support? Do you like the advanced cooling features that exist? All of that comes, and you'll know that by visiting a store like ours, where we're more than welcome to have you in a no-pressure environment and just get to know, does your body match up with what you've explored online, with what you've pre-shopped about online and read about? Does it actually fit your needs? That's what we excel at here, is finding that fit. So understanding tech would be my mattress buying tip for you this week, and I hope that's helpful.
I like that. And to help understand tech, that's where our team comes in, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yep, for sure.
Faux show. So, Drew,
Yes, sir.
welcome to Lancaster Connects.
Fancy seeing you here on a Monday at 2:00.
It's funny, yeah. Every Monday at 2:00, you're sitting just outside of our office doors.
I can hear all the rumblings and the isms and
You get all the watchners. You get all the Lancaster Connectsism. But it's great to have you in the office here.
Yeah,
the Lancaster Connect studio, and on the show, we're going to dig into all about how you help our Gardner's customers get a great night's sleep, and what you do for our business in general. So there is one piece of business that needs to be done before we dig in.
You
already went. I don't know. I think we've got the wheel spin coming up.
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time to spin that wheel.
Wow. I love it.
Just then,
just jumped right in.
We need you to do the weekly wheel spin. We need you to.
I can set an alarm on my phone for 2:03 every Monday. I'll just come in and do the spin and leave.
Yeah.
Chris could probably
$25
just flip it out.
donation.
Love it.
Perfect.
in your name with any purchase to Off the Streets, which you love the work we do with Off the Street.
Excellent. Yes,
So that was a very
absolutely.
fitting spin.
Yes.
You know, you're a wrestling fan. What's that called? Cutting a promo?
Yes. Cutting a promo.
So you need to cut the promo each week for the wheel spin. That was very good.
Well, thank you.
That was very, very good. I would say,
Well, you wanted me to sing it. I'm definitely not going to sing it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the next one. I mean, you'll have to bring something different every week.
yeah, when you cut the weekly promo.
I'll come up with some ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll work on a Google sheet.
All right, Drew. So again, thanks for hopping in here and being on Lancaster Connects with us. I'm sure there's people that are tuning in who already know who you are because you've helped them with their sleep over the years. You've been with us a little over 10 years.
Over 10 years. It was November 30th, 2015 was my first day.
So tell us a little bit about why you were excited to join the team way back when, the Gardner's team. I believe you responded to a hiring ad.
I did.
And, so just maybe talk a little bit about who you are.
Yeah.
And why you're a part of the Gardner's team.
Yeah. So post-college, graduated in 2003. I had worked in the department store world for a number of years with department store chain that rhymes with Sears. And
Well, you're supposed to say like peers.
yeah, that was the joke.
I guess they're out of business. So
They are.
they're
So it does,
liquid
yeah.
team.
And so is the next company that I worked for. And by the way, those crashing were not my fault. I worked with H.H. Gregg for a number of
Thanks for
years
clarifying.
as a
Thanks for clarifying the pattern. Our listeners have
hey, just in case anybody was wondering that a single person in Pennsylvania
Right.
didn't tank two companies.
Right.
So working for larger chain store, had the opportunity to work with some great people, hired great people, still maintain a lot of those relationships. But, there's a lot of limitations to that side of the world. And the corporate life and the expectations and the parameters and the limitations, I was just growing tired of not being in the best position to serve our public, our customers, because it was just the larger you get, the more roadblocks go in.
Yeah.
And I just kind of had enough. It started with it was H.H. Gregg. They, along with a lot of other companies, said, hey, we're going to start opening on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I am not a ballerina build. I love Thanksgiving dinner. And a lot of folks have pushed back and well,
skinny people can be
that's
taking turkey too.
that's true.
But
But police officers and first responders, but that's expected of you when you enter that industry.
Yeah,
But, that wasn't a thing. A department store, a mall, an outlet, they weren't open on Thanksgiving Day all those years ago. I'm like, this is beginning to get ridiculous. And I got to a point where I had enough. And you had posted the position, and I was familiar with Gardner's before. When I was with Sears at the Park City store for a time, I knew, you guys, we're across the street. Came in for an interview, but it was that interview process and that conversation that the three of us had that I realized it was different. Just that, we own our service, we own our delivery. It's a different type of serving here. We've evolved in the last, in the 10 years I've been here to serve at a higher level. But even from the beginning, I could tell that, and I felt that it was a comfortable fit. We had a great conversation because we have a lot of similarities. We're all Seinfeld fans. We're all Big Lebowski fans. I do remember throwing Seinfeld quotes with you guys during the first conversation we had. But no, I could tell that this was a step above. The background that you guys had, the reviews that had already been in the Reader's Choice Award at that point, we had already won 4 in a row. You guys had won 4 in a row going back to 2010. So, it's one of those things. It's like, we'll give it see what's what, give it a try. Because sometimes you just don't know. You could have a fantastic conversation, and then day one, it's like, oh, this is not what was presented to me. Now that didn't happen in this case.
So we've been fooling you for 11
right. Yeah. Now we're going to have the public termination. No.
Well, I was going to look at Ben when you were talking about being open on Thanksgiving. So like,
oh yeah,
now would be a really bad time to tell them we're going to,
or the Midnight Madness sale on Black
be
Friday,
open on
right?
Thanksgiving. No, we are not going to be open on Thanksgiving. We want you at home with your family enjoying thing.
No, and that's always been appreciated. The work-life balance, with a larger company department store, 60, 70, 80-hour weeks were not uncommon, especially around the holidays, and 11 o'clock closings, 12 o'clock closings, 6 a.m. openings. It's, you reach a point where it's like, no, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
And that's been a very positive shift here in the last 11 years or 10 or so years, and very much appreciated. So, and I think that as we've grown and serving our customers again at a higher level in the last 10 years, I think that that's the proof in the pudding.
So working at Sears, or, managing people at Sears, managing at H.H. Gregg, you sold mattresses before, but it was different. It was different. How was it different? Like, what opened your eyes to the fact that a mattress is more than just a rectangle in your bedroom?
Well, and this kind of ties back to what impressed me in our initial conversations, but, at a department store in that type of setting, a mattress sale is not dissimilar from a shoe sale, not dissimilar from, here's a stack of hand towels. It's very transactional. I trained as best I could with the curriculum that was handed to me to train the staff. But at the end of the day, that training curriculum that you're given, you can't go rogue if you're sitting in English class and, I'm going to do a different textbook. You can't do that. And you can't do that in that type of setting either. And it's always positioned at that level to be very transactional. Here's what we have. What do you like? This, or this. Here's what we're on. Here's what's on sale. Here's the extended service we can sell you. And by the way, and we can deliver it, on X date. And that's it. I would watch mattress sales, appliance sales. I would watch 5 minutes. They're asking for a credit card. Like, do you really know? Or how can you really know that that's going to help somebody at that, with that time crunch? And we see it here all the time. We hear the story. If I had this experience at such and such place, I really didn't even know what I got. And that to me that's horrifying to hear from somebody that they spend all that money.
Right.
It's one of the most major purchases that people make.
Sure.
And you can't tell me what you have. Can you tell me what kind of car you drive? Probably.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell me what you're sleeping on, and you're coming in with medical issues and health, then that's horrifying to me to hear that for coming from somebody. Yeah. So, here we're not transactional. This is all about transformation and giving a full experience and a full education so that they do know exactly what they're looking at. Yeah. It was less common to see referral business in those places like that. Here, it's our bread and butter. The first question we ask is, who referred you to us? Just because that's generally the most common way folks find us. Yeah. I think that's just that transformational relationship and just understanding what they truly need versus, here's what's on sale. When do you want it delivered?
Yep. As you're recounting that, I've never heard you say it that way. And it dawns on me, so the motivator in a department store is largely a price, a sale. You've got the store card, you get some store points, which is all great. I mean, I think we all have various store cards and we all like points. And you should too as a customer. And, when it comes to a mattress, it's the charging pad, right? Like, you'd never not charge your phone overnight. So you wouldn't willfully, knowing it's at 15%, say, I don't need to plug that thing in. Yet people go to bed early when they're feeling at 15%. They, might take a little melatonin to just get that little extra oomph in their sleep, right? But yet hearing you recount those department store days, or where it was more of a transaction, more celebrated, like, look at the volume today because we sold 7 mattresses. Whereas normally this day last year we sold 1. So we had a great rise in the number. And was that more how it was thought of?
Oh, absolutely. And as a manager, I wasn't directly selling unless I had to get involved for one reason or another. Excuse me. But, it was all data. That's all it was. You were sitting in an office analyzing data. Yeah. And
customers were numbers.
Yeah, like a large college. You're known as your Soc. You're not known as Ben McClure. You are 11234, which is not my Soc, by the way.
It is Ben's though.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's not. It could be. I don't know.
But yeah.
Anyway, so hopefully I give you a little flavor and feel of where Drew came from. And, we've he's been a great fit here since day one, because I think what he said about being very clear what he didn't want in that corporate environment, we offered in that small business family environment. And you can get to know Drew on our website. We've got that right there on our screen, which thanks to our wonderful producer, Chris, who makes us look great and sound great every week. If you need something podcasting related, make sure to reach out to Cast Ahead, and his info's in all of our show notes. Joseph Stepke tuning in. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Joseph is a industry friend of ours. So on that note of, transitioning to serving at a higher level, the whole theme of we never leave our phone uncharged, so we shouldn't leave ourselves uncharged, on a wonderful new mattress that has the right fit, getting that education. We leveled that up this year, and beside you and on your lapel there is, and I do need to get the image that I created to highlight you guys about being a certified sleep science coach. You have completed the curriculum.
Mm-hmm. And it was extensive.
Good way to explain it, as curriculum, right?
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely was. I mean, it was like going to pre-med. It really was. It was bringing back memories of college, and just that dialed in curriculum, and it was a lot, in a good way, but it was a lot. And it's, it's one thing to, I'm a sleep expert. I toured you've mentioned this. I toured a factory. I ate a lunch that they gave us, and I got a little football that's in the name of the factory. And I am now an expert.
Might be more mattress related token, but sure. I like football. Yeah.
First thing that came to my mind. Yeah. Anyway, no, this was very much, this is medical based. I mean, this was like studying for a health exam.
And that curriculum was all around the science of sleep. And so I tasked our team, after discovering Spencer Institute, to take the certified sleep science coach course and curriculum. And to their credit, Drew, Phil, and Chad did this largely on their own time, because it was that intense. It wasn't the kind of curriculum. Initially I kind of felt they'd be able to do it here at the store in downtime, but it was just too intense, right?
Yeah. We did. It was you had to no other distractions. Like I wouldn't have studied for a final exam in a coffee shop with a lot of noise, right?
Right. And you couldn't do that with this.
No.
And there was a final exam.
Oh yeah, 3 hours.
Yep.
3 hour timed exam. Yep.
And so Chris has, you could view what that course is like, so you can see what we're saying is exactly how, Spencer Institute kind of positions it. It is not just something you go buy and get. You have to take it. And the curriculum study was about 30 hours in total?
It would end up being a little more than that, because in a couple instances, you go back and read through things again. There were a lot of downloadable links, and there was a lot of, would you like to know more? And then you go in and read that and go through that, and just tons of video interviews and just really great ideas and thoughts from the medical field.
Right. I mean, and you can see that on screen right here. Yeah. The input from renowned doctors, neurobiologists, brain researchers, sleep doctors, meditation sleep experts, stress management meditation experts. So it isn't, as Drew said, and these are my words, our industry is good, and then our industry needs to improve. And I'm one of the biggest voices of the improvement side, because I want our industry to level up, even if it's our competition. I want everybody to level up, because that means our customer wins. It means our county wins. It means our state wins, our nation wins, because when we sleep well, we live well, and we're a healthier, happier, more productive society. But, these are true experts in this quote unquote game of sleep, which isn't a game. It is life and death. Mm-hmm. Because if you lack sleep, you're technically, after a few days, you're technically legally drunk.
Well, and how many times do you read about somebody having a fatal heart attack in the middle of the night from undiagnosed sleep apnea? Yeah. I mean, it happens.
Yeah. Or an accident, a construction accident.
You're fatigued.
I believe it was yesterday, was the anniversary of the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown. Wow. Yeah. That meltdown was attributed to lack of sleep. Mm-hmm. There have been airplane crashes, sadly, attributed to lack of sleep. So this is a very important topic. And that's why when I found Spencer and I found the certification process to be a sleep science coach, I said, you know what? This is how Gardner's is going to level up the game here locally. We're going to level ourselves up, and I would hope our competition would go to Spencer Institute and would invest as we did, and invest that time and knowledge to be transferred to their guests, because it does matter. And I do feel it is that important. So going through the process, what were some of the biggest things you took away, and that how you're using them to serve our customers here?
Understanding circadian rhythms was one. Sleep cycle. There is a science to how long should I sleep. The 8 hours, and then that's not a wrong number, but it's not just an arbitrary number. The body goes through, I call it Control-Alt-Delete. It's like rebooting your computer. Your body goes through a sleep cycle every 90 minutes. That's
what Ben did at the start of the show.
Yes, he did.
Control-Alt-Delete at the start of the show.
And how'd that work? Now,
we're back. It's like 10
but okay, but to take that Control-Alt-Delete after in the middle of the show, so to speak, but the same concept. If somebody is taking a nap and they wake up at the wrong time, or they're woken up at the wrong time, it's like pulling the plug when the computer's in the middle of rebooting. It can mess things up.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why you can take a nap for X amount of minutes and you wake up feeling like $1 million, and you take a nap a few days later and it's for a different duration of time and you wake up feeling like garbage. It isn't necessarily because you're sick. It is you were in a different part of that sleep cycle. The human body, on average, most people take between 15 and 30 minutes to fall asleep. And the body going through 1, 2, 3, 4 sleep cycles at 90 minutes is 7.5 hours, 30 minutes to wake up and fall asleep. There's your 8 hours. And, so if you can't do 8, do 6. Don't do 7. Don't do 9, because it's going to be at the wrong part of the cycle, and you're going to wake up feeling more fatigued and drained and dragging. And that's where it's also important to monitor and be aware of what triggers people to wake up. Is it, are we eating at the wrong time before bed? Are we eating too close to bedtime? Are we having the glass of wine too close to bedtime? When should I have the last cup of coffee? When should I have the last tumbler of bourbon, the last water even, or food before I go to bed? All of that can impact negatively, especially your sleep cycles. So, and there is a real science to that. I mean, there are doctors that specialize in circadian rhythms like that specifically. It's like, a doctor specializing in just kidneys.
Yeah. I was, you guys know, I was at our listeners wouldn't know this. I was at the High Point Furniture Market and Mattress Market show this past weekend and I rode my motorcycle down, which was fun. A little personal challenge to do that far. And it was interesting. I had to, navigate hot here, even though today on Monday, April 27th, you wouldn't describe Lancaster County as hot, but it was on Wednesday night when I left, Wednesday afternoon. And then it was hotter on Thursday as I wrapped up the trip in North Carolina to get there.
Not this weekend.
And then leaving. So Friday night, I was out to dinner with one of our service agency providers and partners, and had a couple cocktails and a couple glasses of wine, which is rare for me. I drink only socially, and it's not often.
Or on Lancaster Connects like last week.
Yeah, Lancaster Connects.
Yeah, apparently I missed that one.
Yeah, you did. And I took everything home. I snuck it right out. You didn't get to see and enjoy. But boy, Saturday afternoon was, I was pushing harder. Not that I was in no way, shape, or form intoxicated, please. But I just felt off. I didn't sleep well. I didn't sleep well at all because the hotel beds weren't great. They weren't my bed, which is something we always miss when we travel, right, gents? But you're right. And I knew it was going to happen. So I made sure to drink a lot of water before I went to bed, made sure I drank water throughout the day, but I just knew that was the price to pay. And then of course it rained. Yeah, there's one of the pics from the trip documenting it on the,
your executive parking. I saw that.
I like that. I felt very taken care of.
Yeah, that's good.
The Atrium on Main, to give them a little shout out. Great hospitality. Yep, there's my underwear and socks that were all wet, drying out. Thank you, Chris. That's actually underwear and socks from one of our great partners.
Aloha.
Yeah.
And now you know a lot more about Jeff than you thought you would.
Well,
what type of underwear?
Hey, we bear it all.
They make great sheets, great products, and I got to tell you, I've ridden a lot of motorcycle. I've had times where I've been soaked by the rain, and I will tell you, that was the most comfortable rain-soaked underwear motorcycle ride I ever had, thanks to Care Aloha. Their sheets are incredible.
Oh my God. I just put a set of their retreat sheets on my bed a couple of weeks ago. And
Aren't they great?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I haven't been late since then, but it's tough.
Hard to get up.
It is tough getting up. And I know that sounds cliched given what we do, but my gosh, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. And interesting what you said about, being out of your rhythm and you felt off, and interruptions in your sleep and alterations in your sleeping habits, they can often be a really good indicator of something not being right. And, I'm not going to dwell on it. I'll just mention it. But it was something that I noticed, in hindsight, 7 years ago, as you guys remember, I had a heart attack and I ended up having quintuple bypass at 38 years old. I didn't start showing any real symptoms until it was starting. But one of the things that I didn't really pay attention to in the beginning, but I know now, I was napping like crazy for the month or two before I was coming home from work. I was exhausted. I was going to bed 8 o'clock. I would get up at 4 or 5 because I went to bed right away, but I was just exhausted. That should have been a signal to me, like nothing else has changed. I haven't changed my eating habits, my drinking habits. I've been dropping weight over the years. That should have been enough to say, hey, this is a little off.
Well, you know that now.
Oh, you do. But that's for other people, like, hey, even just a little interruption in your sleep cycles or systems, that can be a good indicator that there's something wrong. So it's just, we need to listen to our body and what our body's telling us. It isn't just, I've been tired every single day for the last 2 weeks. Well, something might be wrong there. And that's, always listen to your body.
That's a great share.
And it's something that, at 38, I'm like, well, I wasn't thinking anything serious because who would, but you never know.
Yeah.
So, and that's where paying attention to your sleep cycles and your systems and yeah, it's all, your body's always trying to tell you something, good or bad.
Yep.
So let's talk about an experience here with Drew Bleil. So a customer, let's say after the show's over, customer comes up to the door. They don't know Gardner's at all. They don't know Drew Bleil at all. What does an experience with you look like? How do you help that person with their sleep needs?
Well, a very broad question. And, at first, a lot of times just put their mind at ease. Folks can come in, they're frustrated. Maybe they've been somewhere and they felt like they didn't really get any help or they didn't get their questions answered. Others have gotten down the rabbit hole of the internet and they come in and the eyeballs are pinwheels. They're checked out, they're confused, and they just need some clarity. Yeah. So, I will usually start by, asking them some questions, having a dialogue, tell me, after I find out how they found us, tell me, what do you have now? Tell me where you're struggling. Tell me what, medical issues you have. Tell me what your allergies are. Tell me, let me understand you. It's in a way, it's almost like it's like a consultation with a new physician. I'm not a doctor, but it's very, very similar. I want to understand why you're here and how can what we have benefit, what your ailments are. Because it's not, you're not just buying a mattress. And even if somebody comes in and is like, I just need a mattress, like, okay. And I'm never going to argue with them right from the beginning, but okay, I understand you. I'm very happy you came in. That's awesome. Let's figure out what and why. And as we figure out the why, in many cases, we realize that, okay, well, it may be a more involved answer than what you initially thought. And that's why you're here. That's why we're here to educate. And it's not about, well, you need to do this or we're not helping you. Of course not. But it's you have the right as the consumer to be educated on not only what you're looking at, but why it's good for you. Right. No one pays to have their product on our floor. It's all curated by all of us for what we feel would best serve, as many members of the community as we can. So it's not about what can I sell you? It is about how does what we have, how will it make your life better? That's the goal. And, closing a sale is always enjoyable, but I'll tell you what means the world is when they come back just to visit and say, Drew, my word, I'm sleeping so well. One of the reasons I love doing the health show at Willow Valley every year is because I get a lot of hugs. I've been doing it for 10 years.
You're a hugger.
And I'm a hugger. And I haven't had a living grandparent in 20 years. But, but no, just listen. I love when people will come up and they'll sit down and like, hey, let's, and they'll share their stories of, how much better they're sleeping, how much, this part of their life has improved because of what we did for them. And that's, to me, that means more than anything. That's incredible. To know that you transform someone's life is extraordinarily humbling. But
you don't have to share names or anything like that. Can you pinpoint a story or two?
Oh yeah.
From a customer, just maybe share a little bit about what their struggle was and how you helped overcome it.
One of my most impactful for me, just experiencing it for me, I won't give you her last name. Her first name's Kelly. She was she's still alive. She's, at the time, she was early mid 40s, had been in a series of car accidents. None were her fault. Yeah. And her back was just shot. Couldn't walk without a walker. She was sleeping on a bed she got online. Nothing against that, but it wasn't the right fit for her. And she had come in, made multiple visits. Obviously, we are no pressure. And it took her the better part of a month coming in. She did our dream room. She needed an adjustable bed base. And unbelievably, nobody had ever even had that conversation with her.
Wow.
So we had her
practice.
Yeah. We had her on an adjustable bed frame in the dream room. And when she came to the door, to open the door to come back out into the showroom, and I almost went running because I saw that she did not have her walker.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
She literally walked to the door of the dream room without her walker. Now, she couldn't make it all the way to the desk, and that's okay, but that's more than she had been able to do since prior to the last accident.
So this was just after her dream room experience.
It was during it. Yeah.
Wow.
She came to use the restroom, and when I saw her walking with, and first I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? So I went running over there, and she was just walking without her walk. I couldn't believe it. And then I've seen her several times in recent years, and she does still use, out in public, she still needs it for walking long distances, which is understandable. But she doesn't need it to move around the house.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like that's it. That's the secret sauce is improving someone's life like that.
Yeah. Well, an adjustable bed base is just a tremendous part of your mattress purchase and sleep system. And I have one at home. I leave it set. We all do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And I leave mine set. Very mild adjustments, couple inches in the head and the foot, each little less in the foot, little more in the head. And I miss it terribly when traveling. And, so you had traveling over the last 5 days as I did, plus motorcycle riding, which is not the most healthful thing to do for your spine and connective tissue. But sleeping flat, man, it just pulls everything so tight. And what Drew's relating with Kelly's experience is likely what she felt was that relief of all that muscle and soft tissue and tendon and ligament being able to actually relax. Last night, getting into bed, I did adjust into more of a zero gravity position for 15 minutes, turned the massage on, and it felt great. And then I went back to my memory setting, and Jeff went to sleep.
Oh, and when I get back from vacation's first thing I do. Suitcase goes down, and I will lay in that. I'll lay in bed for 20, 30 minutes, and especially if it's a drive. I just got back from Georgia and broke it up because I stopped in Charlotte on the way home, but I had an 8-hour drive home. I got out. I was hobbling, but 20 minutes in that zero gravity is incredible.
Yep. So we have a lot of customers that come back after their purchase and share how much their life has improved. Aside from Kelly, are there any other memorable ones?
Oh, there's just a lot of them are more general. We're like, hey, just wanted to let you know, my gosh, we're sleeping so much better. We're so happy. We sent our neighbors or brother or sister in. And I love hearing that, because especially if they made the time to come in. I love the phone calls too, but to have them come in for no other reason than just to say, hey, I sent my brother in, or I told my brother to come see you because we are just enamored, overjoyed with how we're sleeping now. A lot of that, Kelly's was, that was a little more, I don't say involved, but it was very, very memorable, and they're all memorable
and rewarding.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I know, I've shared on the show here, my wife has been through a lot in the last 18 months with her health. And I know for her, she's just so happy right now to be walking around the home post hip replacement without her cane. And I'm so happy for her to see that happening now. I've seen what it is to walk with the more stationary walker, the aluminum one the insurance company gives you. And then we have here at the store the standard walkers, which are a little more free reign, a little more freewheeling, and I believe serve somebody with physical ailments better because they're not something that creates over reliance on the device. It creates independence and strength with the device. But that's my opinion. Steph would agree with that statement. But to see her walking around the house is just so awesome. So I can relate with what you were able and how we were able to help her, Kelly, in the home with her issues.
And in a, although it wasn't in an ideal way, but what I went through with my surgery and recovery, it really helped me understand from a medical standpoint, experiencing it myself, how important that is to have that proper support, have that proper positioning, because they told me when they discharged, like, it's going to take 3 to 6 months till you start to feel like yourself again. And they weren't lying. But one thing that really helped kind of move that along was just if I was laying down or napping or that I was being properly supported. And, after something major like that, but it really gives you that inside experience on, folks, I'm not just telling this to you because I read it somewhere. I went through, I lived through this, and that's why I'm telling this to you.
Yeah. I'm just going to point out, this might sound self-serving, but we haven't brought up one single brand yet, have we?
No, because it does. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, it's not about brands.
It's not.
Yeah. It isn't.
And I just bring that up through the relevance of, I went to the High Point market for a couple of reasons, but one is, as our business grows and we always seek to serve at a higher level, I want to know what else is out there. And I did visit a very cool factory with product that we don't have represented as much on our floor right now. But it means we're just going to have to work that much more harder because we do curate a wide selection. Avis Rental Car we're number 2 and we work harder. That was their tagline, number 2 after Hertz Rental Car. I always like that because that kind of encapsulates what we do here. It would be easier, as you know, because you're helping to place orders.
Yeah.
And you see what comes in and out of the dock. And we've recently promoted Sean into operations to help off-put that, to have you focus on serving our customers at an even higher level. But adding another vendor would mean we'd work even that much more harder, but it would be for the right reason.
And that's just it. And
for the product that serves our customers.
For the right reason, if it serves better, then in every single scenario, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, you've worked with thousands of people. I think that's fair.
It's crazy to think that, but yeah, no, it is. It's like.
So, what are some common? We kind of touched on some of these, but common sleep problems you see today, and tying it into your sleep science training. What are some common sleep problems that people are suffering from that you can help with?
Well, the biggest one is from not because of their partner specifically, but it's today dual career households are standard, right? Mm-hmm. We're busier now than ever. You guys both have kids who play sports. You had an eventful weekend with there's soccer, there's volleyball, there's Boy Scouts, there's track, there's football, there's ball. Thank you.
Don't forget about that.
There's bowling. There's violin lessons. There are more distractions in a day now than there has ever been.
Very true.
So with that, you're more fatigued. You're around more people. You're more likely to pick up something, of cold, virus, COVID. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing I see is I have trouble sleeping through the night because of X or Y. And in most cases,
because they got the Jimmy legs.
Well, yeah. And for a variety for a variety of reasons, but that's absolutely right. Something as simple as someone's partner getting up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. Yeah. Like, I can feel all of that. And I hear that all the time. And that's one of the reasons why motion transfer is something that we talk about. Is it's not just to show you I can jump on a bed with a glass of wine and look, the wine doesn't fall over. No, that's not what it is. It's about not being disturbed from your partner. Because if you get woken up, it's going to take at least 20, 30 minutes to fall back asleep again. Yeah.
I have to share to the wine glass test.
There's Jimmy legs.
There's the Jimmy legs.
She's got the Jimmy legs.
Yeah. To the wine glass test, not just marketing hype, not just a cool TV commercial, actual real relevance. It goes to my understanding tech comment. If you are a couple that is getting up at different times, he works swing shift and you work consistent day shift, but you need to be on point. Like, that matters. So motion disturbance and motion isolation is part of technology in a bed. And while it's not the wine glass test, we do have the bowling pin test back.
Yeah.
That was in partnership. One of our great reps, Karen, she reminded us of that. And because my son is a bowler and works at Dutch Lanes locally as a mechanic, I texted him, I'm like, hey, man, I know you got a whole bunch of bowling balls in the garage because they're in my way.
Can't imagine.
Dual purpose.
Yeah, love it. Right. So he gives us bowling balls, one of which is cracked. So I know we don't have to give him that one back. But he grabbed 6 bowling pins and we got them to show and to help you understand if you are that person struggling with motion transfer and you're like, I am sick of this person waking me up, who I love usually in the middle of the night, but love a little less in the moment when they wake me up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can go through that exact test and just kind of show you, hey, here's how quantifiably this one versus that one is a better fit.
Absolutely.
And you get to see it with your own eyes.
That, and then with all the, the busy lifestyles that we have in the United States, we have horrible diets. We eat terribly. So we get, I have conversations about reflux. That's common, and snoring. Acid reflux, and acid reflux isn't necessarily from eating poorly, but if you're eating a high-fat diet, a high-salt diet, or a greasy diet, then yes, you are far more likely to experience reflux. And that is, that's a conversation for another one for adjustable bed frame. Water doesn't run uphill. If we can incline your head, if we can, because anybody who's ever had reflux in the middle of the night, it is horrible. It is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever experienced.
Yep.
And when I was at my heaviest, when I was at the 300-pound range, I had it regularly. Eating better has certainly helped, but that's, again, something that something that a proper system in place can help with. Seasonal allergies, and we can talk about, hey, how about, what if we allergy proof your mattress? Oh, what do you mean? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about a fully zippered encasement that acts as it's a bite-proof barrier.
Yep. Well, and it's, that might sound odd to you, allergy-proof mattress, but he speaks the truth, because a mattress is like a sponge collecting all of life's moments that happen in beds.
Yep.
We perspire about, Ben, can you hold up your coffee drink? About that much a night. So think of that much liquid going into your bed each night. And then that's going to absorb into the foams and the fibers, create this moisture-rich environment for skin cells, and then dust mites proliferate and do what dust mites do.
Mold,
bacteria, mildew, skin cells, all of it. It's kind of gross, and it accumulates for 10 years.
Yeah.
So you can have a protector, which is great, launder all that away, but an encasement will just keep everything else swirling about the dust mites and whatnot out of the bed. Just a healthier environment, something that we can talk through.
Yeah, and I've noticed, I've been sick far less than I was since putting an encasement on. This now is a number of years ago, but I have seasonal allergies, but I'm also allergic to pollen, dust mites, and ragweed.
So we've been tracking Drew's sick days. We could
there you go.
We could look at the spreadsheet and see how they've gone back.
But other than I had COVID a couple of years ago, and of course the little heart problem. But I used to be good for at least 2 or 3 major sinus infections every single year, spring and fall like clockwork, September and March, every single year. It's been a while since that has happened, and you're not allowed
to be sick after that.
And I don't wake up with the sinus headaches like I used to. I don't wake up congested like I used to, and I know a part of that is I have my mattress encased. Nothing's getting through.
I love that you're here and out there educating customers on that, because the average person is not going to think about a sinus infection in that way. They're not going to equate it to, well, maybe that could have been avoided by a better night's sleep, or the encasement that's on my bed. Most people aren't going to think that way. So having you out there educating customers in that way.
Oh, I've had that conversation at bars.
Yeah, right.
Trust me.
That's fantastic, because you're making an impact in that individuals' lives. And how many more people do they tell?
Right.
Well, and I mean, think about a really nasty spat, right? It seems like with families, working families, kids are in daycare, schools, it seems that kids are getting sent to school at all grade levels more often than not, when they should probably be home. So sometimes the wintertime, these seasons, it persists. So imagine having those products on your bed where you can just launder it all away versus it existing in the bed if you don't. I've been meaning to ask you, this dawned on me as we're sitting here, getting the education you have now, and we've always been committed to education here, but it's been more self-paced. The Spencer Institute and the Sleep Science Coach certification was very focused. So having gone through that, having had time to apply it now, have you noticed anything newer or newish in the last 10 years that's kind of like and this is out of the blue, so we didn't prepare you for this, so I apologize.
Now I'm scared.
Are you seeing anything new that's developing related to sleep and sleep health that's becoming more common, that people are bringing in saying, I'm struggling with this? Anything you can attribute?
I think I'm not noticing I'm getting hit with new symptoms. What I'm noticing is it's a longer list, and in certain instances, it's more acute, it's more severe.
So a longer list of, I've got these problems and these issues.
Yeah.
Like it used to just be back pain or snoring.
Correct.
Now it's a laundry list of stuff. Yeah.
Now that could also be partially because of the awareness folks have of us and where our barometer is, where our level is. That's like, oh, I wouldn't necessarily say what I'm going to say to Drew at this other place because I just kind of know they're not going to approach it that way. But I'm going to go see a specialist now. And now I'm going to get into, okay, this is A, B, C, D, E. These are my problems. Fix me. That could be part of it too. But no, I'm seeing it.
That's an interesting observation.
And I could be totally off the mark there, but I would bet there's some reality to that. Just in the feedback that I get from folks when I say, hey, who referred you to us, or what was it about us that was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's the avenue to go. And in most cases, it's, well, your approach is different. We can tell that from our website, from reviews, from everything.
Which Chris has been pointing on the screen. Now that's very interesting. That's very interesting. This whole cool sleep and focus our industry has on sleep cool. It's really come up in the last 15 years, but nobody's asked the question, well, why? Why are we hotter? I believe, and I'm guilty of this, energy drinks dials up your internal temperature for sure.
Yep.
Okay. And I think the processed food, fast food, look at the evolution of DoorDash and Uber Eats. It's so easy to eat so poorly.
And a lot of folks fall into there's a big growth.
I think that raises our temperature.
Agreed. And there's big growth in the fast casual category. That's not necessarily healthy.
Right.
Fast, it's better quality.
Yeah.
But guess what? There's just as much salt in that burrito as there is in that cheeseburger.
Right.
So, that's not necessarily making it any better.
Because they are still in business, and because I don't want to catch a case, the sandwich shop that is like named after a train, similar like place, has convinced people that eating great is eating like a 12-inch loaf of bread.
Right. Yeah. Carb city.
And this is what we're talking about. So all this to say, think about your day, as intentionally as you might be thinking about your sleep. A new mattress is going to support and help a lot of things, but if you keep your same bad habits, the mattress is going to do so much. But if you add on great habits to a great new mattress, working with Drew and our team, you're going to go further faster, and then that mattress is going to become that charging station for you.
Yeah, and it's having the right solution. 2,000 calories a day from fast food. Yeah, you might lose a little bit of weight, but you're going to feel terrible because it's just not good. It's not good. They're not good calories.
Yeah.
You can have a ton of habits that but if they're not good habits, or if they're not helping, or you're doing them at the wrong time, because that's another thing I see. Someone's exercising at the wrong time, or they're drinking coffee at the wrong time, or they're having that nightcap at the wrong time. That's all affecting their sleep cycle.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yep. So as we look to wrap up, looking back over 10 years, and now with the Sleep Science Coach certification, what's the most rewarding part of the work?
Well, just hearing that I helped change someone's life for the better. I mean, that's worth its weight in gold. It's yes, growing business is awesome. We need to do that. But at the end of the day, that's worth its weight in gold. I absolutely love hearing that. And also, just and all the stuff that we do, we work with Off the Streets. I had the opportunity to go along on a delivery a while back, about a year or so ago, helping in a different way, but that's still, that's worth its weight.
That was the pillows you're saying?
Oh, those are, I also went on delivery to, in Lidditz.
Okay.
On, off Woodcrest.
You went on a delivery?
Well, I went to,
He's not going to touch the merchandise.
Yeah, no. I wasn't lifting anything.
This is a surprising moment.
Yeah,
here on Lancaster.
Drew wasn't carrying anything because he would have ended up getting pinned underneath it.
Right.
But
thank you. We keep Drew safe from the merchandise.
Drew's not allowed. Drew's not allowed on the ladders, on a forklift, or driving the truck. So
we try to keep his actions on the dock to a minimum because we don't want him to hurt himself.
Because I am very uncoordinated.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that this has not been knocked over is
it's for both of us.
A miracle. 100% miracle. No, that would be just the thanks. Hey, thank you.
Yeah, continuing to magnify that. Yeah, and as we grow, the great thing is I can't wait to see Drew shine even brighter. Because man, you've been like a Swiss Army knife for us all these years. Operations, sales, we all clean the bathrooms here, but as we grow, we're just, the business and the service of our customers requires more focus, and you're going to be able to just focus more on serving our customers at an even higher level. So I can't wait for what that next 10 years looks like. We of course won't wait 10 years to have you back on the show, or 10 years in total, but, no, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It's amazing how fast that time goes too. I looked at my watch. I'm like, oh my God, it's almost 3:00.
Yeah, it flies by. And so as you got to know a little bit more about Drew and how uncoordinated he is,
yes,
and how we keep him safe from the dock gremlins,
yes, and box cutters,
and merchandise gremlins and things. Yeah. Now it's time for Connection Cocktail, and these are
where are the cocktails?
They were here last week.
That was last week.
Yeah, that was last week's cocktails were great. Booby's Brewery. I had the pleasure of taking all that home, and it is gone.
Dirty Dill Pickle
Martinis, and
I forget the name of the. It was like a whiskey sour,
and then the Fire It Up or something like that had Bullet Rye in it.
Yep.
And, my son and his girlfriend, who are 22, found it, and it's gone. So thank you to Booby's Brewery. They're our unofficial Connection cocktail sponsor from here on out. But I'll start it off. Drew, on music or podcast on a long drive, what are you tuning into?
Under 4 hours, it's music.
Oh, you have like a rule?
Oh yeah, I'm not a rule, but like on average, if it's only a few hours, if I'm just going to like Six Flags or somewhere, I'll just do music. If it's an extended drive, I have a podcast I do listen to. He is considered to be the second best pro wrestling manager of all time. His name is Jim Cornette. He was a great bad guy, but he's a historian.
He's a heel.
Yes, he's a heel, but no, he's a wrestling.
Not a baby face.
No. He's a wrestling historian, and he's been in the business for 40 years. He's hysterical, but just to listen to his interpretation of the industry today, because it's not great today. It's fun to listen to. But no, if I'm listening to music, it's usually Ozzy, Metallica, Tool. I'm a metalhead.
Not the lounge music we have going on.
No, but I listen to this too. I
wondered where that came from. I'm like, what's happening with the music?
No,
I like this touch.
I'll listen to the only thing I don't care for a lot of rap, but most anything else. I mean, I on my playlist, like I can go right from Disturbed into bluegrass because my uncle's a retired bluegrass musician, and I can appreciate that.
Very good, very good. So your friends had to describe you with one word.
Annoying. No.
That was quick. All right. Question number 3.
That was annoying.
Right.
Not even let us finish the questions.
Right.
Just answer it.
What would that word be, Drew?
Generous, but not in a financial way, because I don't throw money at people. But when I find something I enjoy, I love bringing other people into that experience with me.
That's cool.
Whether it was, with my friends at Hailstorm, taking people to go see them. I'm a roller coaster fanatic.
Really?
Really, yes. But with all the yammering that I did last year, our colleague Chad, went and bought a season ticket. And he came with me a couple times last year, and he's like, I get it. He's like, yeah, I get it. I'm going to get a pass for next year.
That's fun.
And where it used to be me going up to Hershey 2 or 3 times a week by myself, which I'm fine with. Now it's every time I go up, and this was just last night, there were 12 of us walking around together. So
People that you're connected to.
yeah. And again, but it's just, and these are people that like, hey, I discovered this. It's really cool. Try it with me.
We need to do a Gardner's Mattress and More Hershey Park co-brand thing here.
Seems like we do.
I think we need to do.
But yeah, I would say, I would say
There's a
Cheddar's.
question.
What's that?
What is your favorite roller coaster ever? That is from, looks like podcast producer Chris Stone.
So up until a month ago,
And keep in mind, we have like a minute
I know.
for this answer.
Up until a month ago, I would have
Verbose
said
could also be that word.
That's true.
People
That's true. You're right. Up until a month ago, I would have said Top Thrill at Cedar Point, but no, I will say Pantherian, which used to be Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion, is the most intense coaster I've ever been on, and is the only one that's made me gray out every single time, and it causes people to black out completely. And as an enthusiast, we can't get enough of that. So right now, I'm saying Pantherian at King's Dominion.
So anything that
And
pushes
theory.
the body almost to the limit.
Coaster enthusiasts like that. If there's a real possibility that feels like this thing could kill you, we like
Okay.
in the best way possible.
Fantastic. Love it. All right.
Well, we said one word. We got a few more. That's a good answer, though.
Well, but that's not fair. Somebody asked a question. Chris asked a question. Okay.
That's true.
Local business you love supporting that people should know about.
Yeah. Dean and Justin, local to Lancaster, they own 4 of the absolute best restaurants in the area. You knew where this was going. Not Peter Luger, though. Owner 401 Prime, Josephine's, C'est La Vie, and the Belvedere. All the same owner, all the same family, absolutely flawless food, flawless experience. In a way, it reminds me a lot of what we do. You go in there and you will get the absolute best experience you possibly could in that environment every single time. And yes, those 4 places are my absolute favorite in town.
Well done.
Love it.
All right. Last question for America's 250th, which we are like 2 months away from.
Coming up.
Right. From your view, what makes America so great?
Diversity.
Okay.
I'm not going to get political, but I love all the different languages. I love listening to that. I love all the cultural, even in where we live.
Yeah.
In Lancaster, I love that. I love how different everybody is. I love how we all have different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, we will all help each other if needed.
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate melting pot.
Very cool. I love that answer.
Good answer, Drew. All right.
I can't speak any languages other than Klingon, but I do. But I like listening to the other languages.
This would be the first and probably only Klingon opportunity for Lancaster Connects can give.
I am not.
Klingon.
What is Klingon for mattress?
What's that?
What's the Klingon word for mattress?
Well, there isn't one because they don't sleep on mattresses. They sleep on hard, basically platforms. They sleep on a platform. I'm sorry.
What's that word?
I have no idea. I can do a little sleuthing.
Okay. All right.
We'll have to bring him back.
Yeah, that'll be the next. Yeah, Klingon with Drew.
Klingon on Lancaster Connects on.
There we go. He found it.
In Klingon, the verb to sleep is Kong.
I can't spell it. Qong. It would be Kong.
Kong. Okay.
Wow.
That's funny.
Okay. On that.
Thank you, Chris.
There's a Klingon lullaby.
So the word for sleep is Kong in Klingon, and
so Kong well, Jeff.
The Kong better tip. The Kong better tip for this week, Drew is actually going to give to you our sleep better tip. So
yes, set parameters for food and drink, especially alcohol and coffee, as it pertains to your bedtime. Same thing with exercise. Not everybody is best to exercise right before you go to bed. Some people do. I found better experience doing it first thing in the morning, as hard as that may seem. Coffee 6 hours before bed, be done. Alcohol, same thing. 5-6 hours before bed. And I love bourbon, but I try not to have too much of it after 6 or 7 o'clock because it will absolutely affect your sleep. Food, if you eat too close to bed, you're going to get heartburn. You're going to get reflux if you don't have an adjustable bed frame. So yeah, that would be my tip. Set proper parameters for you. Understand where you have trouble with, again, those items before you go to bed, and adjust what you need to.
Love it. Well, we say it. We'll mail you a copy of Sleep Better because it's got tips like that in it and more every week for free. And this guy right here is the one that puts it in the mail for you every week,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, we get a couple requests a week.
Yep. So if you want to be in that group of people, we will send you out a book for free.
English or Klingon versions available.
Drew's going to have to translate for you. But if you want your English version, you can go to gardnersmattressmore.com/sleep-better, and we'll mail you a copy for free. And actually, when we say we, it's this guy right there. He'll get it done.
Nicely done, Drew.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
I thought, so testimonial time for Gardner's Mattress and More. We have a couple Google reviews. I'll just read some highlights here. I thought during the show, of course, I didn't prepare for it before the show, but I thought it would have been cool to find out how many reviews. We have 635 5-star Google reviews on Facebook. To find out how many mention you.
Oh.
I should have done this in advance, but I got to imagine it's got to be about
at least 4 or 5.
a handful. No, honestly, it's probably at least a third of the reviews on the Gardner's Mattress and More
almost 11
Google
years.
site. Yep.
You got them being highlighted right there.
Yep. So just a couple recent ones that came in. Tom here said Drew was extremely helpful and made sure that I tried several mattresses before I made any decisions. No push to make a sale. Wanted to make sure I purchased the right mattress for me. And then Mark here from a few weeks ago, Drew, our salesperson was standout. So helpful and presented several great options, but not so many that we became overwhelmed. So
was that Mark Ollinger?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Said some nice things here. And those are just two of, like I said, there's likely more than 200 Google reviews for Gardner's Mattress and More that mention Drew. So just like the customers that come in and tell you thank you, Jeff and I say thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you, guys.
10 years of dedication with us, and for how much energy you put into our customers to help them achieve a better night's sleep and ultimately better health and a better life.
Well, thank you guys for the ability to do so.
When we hired you, you said, what do I get if I stay 10 years? I said, well, we'll surprise you. And it's this. It's you get to be a guest on Lancaster Connects.
It was all worth it.
Yeah. All right. Hey, that is the show this week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We very much appreciate you. Drew, thank you for taking the time. As always, you represent our company well and serve our customers at an incredibly high level. And again, you can see that right on the reviews. That's not us saying it. It's our customers. And so next week we're back. We're going to be previewing our Red, White, and Snooze Memorial Day Savings event because it is that time. You'll see the website transition over to that this week. And we're excited to bring you a lot of great specials and sales and offers for Memorial Day. We'll be talking all about that next week right here on Lancaster Connects. And so until then, we'll see you Monday at 2 o'clock. Take care.